So, this is a time that we are entering in to embrace truth, to see things for what they are and not to deny them. So, this isn't a channeled message. This is just something I have come to realize just recently, actually, when talking to different people about spiritual people specifically, but this can apply to anyone who refuses to see truth. They want to bypass it. They want to paint it as if, it doesn't exist and it's not real and, you know, you create your reality. And like, listen, I agree that we create our own reality, but what I believe is that it is a co-creation with the divine, with God, with whatever you believe in. It is a co-creation. It doesn't happen on, its own. You send out the signal, you send out the intention, but there is this beautiful co-creation that happens that comes in to make it happen, right? And the thing is, a lot of people in like the spirituality community, they think that they could almost bypass their way into creating something, right? Into pretending something doesn't exist because they will eventually get that thing or perhaps even influence the way that a person behaves. And I feel like there's so many layers to this, truly, because, like, first and foremost, I will say that I have experienced a shift in people's character, not like a crazy amount, but like, slight. Like, they may, like, take, for example, a person who perhaps is rude to you or doesn't like you. You can feel it. And what I would do in those scenarios is I would send them and bless them with love. I didn't deny their behavior. I saw it. I I reflected because I always do. I'm the kind of person that I always make sure, like, what is being reflected to me? Like, is there something that I need to see that I'm not seeing within myself, which is why I'm experiencing it? And sometimes that is the case. Like, sometimes, yes, there is something there. But there's other times people just come into your life because, you just so happen to cross paths with them, and, it might not be something about you, but just they're being a certain way. And I have sent those people love, and over time, I did see their, like, behavior toward me change, but it wasn't like something radical. It was just like perhaps they stopped being as rude, or like the friction between us wasn't really there. But it wasn't like it's not like they became my best friends, right? Like, that's never happened. And there's certain people in the spirituality community that think that you can, like, influence a person's behavior, that you can change and transmute it by not accepting what is being presented to you. And that is a denial of what is coming up. Like, there is always a reason when something is coming up in front of you. And to deny that is actually to deny yourself. So, the realization that came to me, because for the past year and a half, I have been really sitting with and embracing more truths, and even, like, not pleasant truths within myself, throughout my life, like deep shadow work, which takes a lot of guts. It takes a lot of guts to sit through it, to realize, like, wow, okay, there's some deep shadows here. And to sit with them, to understand them, to be okay with them, to forgive yourself for these shadows, and then to release, to transmute them, to go through that whole alchemizing process of, alchemizing your shadows. um so I've been really sitting with truth, so I don't have an issue. I don't think I ever have had an issue, but I really am very, like, I'm more discerning now than I've ever been. um and so when something's being presented to me, especially if there's a person that's, behaving a certain way or doing something, I'm very quick to just be like, oh, okay, this is what it is. Like, I see it. Once you step into the light, and once you can see things from a broader perspective, and I'm sure if you're watching, you might know this and you might do it yourself, where it's like you can see things very clearly now. You can even see people who are wearing masks because it just becomes undeniable. It becomes very obvious. It becomes something that you're used to, and understanding who's who and what's happening and what are the motivations and intentions, right? Like, it just becomes easier, especially when you are tapped in to your intuition, and you see things for what they are. um but there's certain people that, again, they want to deny how that person is behaving. They want to deny that reality because, first and foremost, they think that they'll be able to switch that person if they keep denying that. For example, even if it's like an ex that's being abusive, like, no, don't ever convince yourself that they're not behaving this way, like putting the blinders on your eyes and being like, no, it's not happening, it's not. No, it's happening. Get yourself out, place a boundary. Yes, process it after. Like, do the inner work when you have the space after, but don't deny yourself the truth, right? And so the realization that I came to is people who do that, people who deny truths in somebody else because they don't like what they see in that person, because they are, not behaving that well. It's usually when it's like a bad behavior, right? um the realization that I came to, it's like, usually those are the people that have a hard time accepting truths about themselves. And that is the mirror. That is the mirror in action. So think about it. If you're a person like that who likes to deny things, they're like, no, this isn't happening. Something in the world isn't happening. No, it's not there. I don't see it. If I don't see it, it must not be real. Um, or someone is not behaving right, and they're not doing, like, right things to you. They're not respecting you, and you're also like, no, no, it's not real, I don't see it. The more I just, like, look the other way, the more it will be so, and it just doesn't exist, and eventually that person will be kind to me if I keep, avoiding it and not seeing it for what it is. That's usually because that person, whatever's happening, whatever you're trying to deny, is reflecting something in yourself that you do not want to see within yourself, that you have a hard time accepting within yourself, that you have a hard time really sitting with and being like, ooh, why is this coming into my world? Like, why do I have a hard time accepting this truth? What am I scared of? What am I scared of seeing inside of me that, in some subconscious way I resonate with, that this person is presenting to me, right? And that is a hard thing to sit with. It truly It is like, again, because we live in a society where we really deem like things that are bad to be bad. And I mean, like, I get why. I do, but it's like, if we deny the dark actually grows larger, right? Because it's not being integrated, it's not being seen. And the darkness is only there, and whatever you're experiencing, it's only there because of pain and trauma that a lot of us have gone through, and a lot of our family lineage has gone through. And there has to be someone who's finally willing to stop and face the darkness and face the shadows with love, but with truth. Truth is love, right? It's standing there and being like, okay, I see this for what it is. And doing the work around it, like really thinking and seeing, like, okay, what is being reflected back to me? Is there something in me that I do need to learn from this experience, right? Whether it's a person or thing or whatever, right? That is triggering you, that you don't want to look at it, you don't want to see it, you just want to keep avoiding it. What is it bringing up in you? And you're going to have to sit with it, and you're going to have to see what comes up, right? It's going to be different for different people, but realize, like, what are you trying to avoid? Because most often you're just avoiding your own darkness, and you think you can, like, focus your way into the light, but that is not true. That is not true. In order to really get to the light, into the light aspects of yourself, you have to look at the shadow. You have to embrace the shadow. You have to love the shadow and accept the shadow and understand why the shadow is there. When you can fully do that, when you can fully integrate that, that is when you are just blasted into the light. They, it's literally like they coexist. You can't separate it. You can't. And yeah, I feel like I thought this would have been longer, but I guess this is really the whole point of the message, is like, if you are one that you're avoiding to look at things, ask yourself why. Like, yes, it's not pretty. I totally understand that. It's not pretty. It'll bring things up in you, but they're being brought up for a reason. They're being brought up because it's time. It is literally time, guys, to look at truths, to accept and embrace the shadow aspects of yourself so that you can integrate them, so that you can alchemize them, so that you can move forward in your life, instead of constantly being stuck in this, like, personal little bubble that you have created, because you think that, you can just, like, think, or yeah, basically, like, think your way into this positive world and positive timeline. And yes, there is intention in creating that, but it can't happen without looking at truths, without seeing the dark, sending love to the dark, and embracing its shadow, because that's the only way everyone and everything will heal on this planet, is to finally look at the darkness, to finally look at the shadows and be like, yeah, it's tough. It is tough, but once everybody can do this, I'm telling you, this is the only way you start transmuting things, and cleaning away at all this, like, debris within ourselves and the world, and start shifting into something more aligned and with more love, right? It's not avoidance that will make it go away, it's acceptance. It's acceptance with love, with full integration, right? Of yourself, of everything that's around you, within the other person, within your family line. Like, when you really start doing the work, you'll understand what I mean, right? So for those of you that don't, it's like when you start sitting with yourself and sitting with the shadows and wondering why things are being reflected to you or why you keep avoiding things, you will get to the meat of it and you'll be like, ooh, okay. And there might be some really hard truths that you have to accept within yourself, that you have to sit with and even sit with a long time with and be like, whoa, like this is in me. This is what I've been avoiding. And a lot of the time when we avoid those things, we avoid the life that we truly want to be living, because you can't live that life if you have that stuff, all that gunk inside of you that needs to be looked at, that needs to be loved and accepted. So if you're avoiding it, I'm telling you, you're just delaying the life that you really want to be living. Start looking at your shadows, start integrating them, stop avoiding truths, because they will constantly be coming up to your face more and more and more until you can finally integrate them. So yeah, I'm gonna leave this here because I feel like this is complete. I hope this made sense. Please let me know if this resonated, and if you guys do have questions, let me know, because I love these types of conversations. I have a very like um I want to say like multi-layered mind. Like I can really go into things and really like feel into them and dive deep into them. Even though this wasn't long, like I feel like I got to the meat of this message. Yeah, let me know. And we'll see. I like to do things like this every time I feel called to. So you can expect, messages like this as well. And yeah, anyway, um, yeah, I'm going to end it here. Sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.